You are listening to a pleasure podcast. For more from our sex podcast collective, visit pleasurepodcasts.com.
What? I thought you were just going for like I masturbated on my own somewhere and then no one knew about it. But now what is it? Some place.
It's a place.
I mean place.
And then none of your beeswax.
I don't want to know that.
All right. So what about you?
That
was a good question.
I was thinking last night. I was in the shower. I was like, no one in the world knows that I'm here right now taking a shower. That's very nice.
Were you masturbating in the shower?
No. Why do you gotta always make it sexual, Mother?
I don't always make it sexual.
You're always making it sexual.
Well, what are you bringing up a shower then? No one knows that you're in the shower.
No one ever knows.
There's a big mystery.
Because when I was working, someone knew that I was working. You're constantly calling me.
Me?
Yeah, you're constantly calling me. Welcome to Sex Talk with my mom. I'm Cam Potter.
And I'm Karen Lee Potter.
That's my mother.
And that's my son.
We chat about sex on a weekly basis and all the things you typically don't talk about with a parent.
We like to make the most uncomfortable conversations comfortable.
So strap in.
Strap on.
And enjoy the ride. Okay, Mom. At midnight last night, you sent me the most ridiculous Reddit thread. What are you doing on Reddit at midnight?
I have to research for the show.
Okay.
You should be very happy that someone is doing some research.
Do you want to share what this Reddit thread was all about?
Well, I'm going to just have to play the audio on this.
Okay. This was the first person on the Reddit thread. The original poster, if you will.
Poster,
OP.
yeah.
A friend and I started regularly having sex after a weekly bar hop with friends. We do Doggy, and I've been getting whiffs of her butt, which is not something that I've ever noticed with other partners. I'm wondering if this is a normal thing. It's usually pretty late at night, so I'm guessing it could just be because it's a long day.
I've never noticed this.
Never.
Have you ever noticed a butt smell?
No, but I'm the one in front. If you're doing doggy style,
yes,
the one in the back is getting the whiff.
Right, but I've never noticed it on anyone else.
And you've got a very strong sense.
I do have a strong. Sometimes I can smell my own ass if I like crouch down or something like that. I could.
Wait, what are you crouching down and smelling your own ass for?
Sometimes I get a squat. Sometimes I find myself at night squatting.
I know you squat a lot.
I squat.
You're squatting right now.
Yeah. And if I'm not showered within like 2 days, my ass will stink.
Well, okay. I don't know what to say to this, Cam.
But I've never noticed it on someone else.
Right.
Someone else's stinky ass?
Yeah. And this guy's doing the bar crawl.
The bar hop.
Bar hopping.
Yes.
Well, what does he think he smells like, by the way?
You're right. His ass is probably reeking as well. I like the way that he presented it too, where it doesn't sound like he's so upset by it. He's just noticing, I noticed... I'm wondering if that's a normal thing for an ass to smell like ass when you're having doggy style.
Well, I think he wanted some validation.
Yeah. So he goes to you.
He goes to me.
What do you think?
Well, I mean, I'm very conscious, more so now as I'm older, of making sure that I smell very good.
Okay.
Like it will at least do a pits, ass, and crotch.
Okay.
Pack.
Yeah. Pack. Yeah. Yeah, I like to shower before. I feel like I can express myself more.
What? Oh, because you're more like loosey-goosey?
Yeah, I can move around more without the concern, does that body part stink like an asshole or my armpits smell like someone's been doing construction work for the past 7 days or something?
That's what you smell like?
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
Yesterday I went to a yoga class.
Oh, I can just imagine. Is it hot yoga?
And I moved, I hadn't showered in days, and the guy came to give me adjustments. And I was like, I almost told him, you might not want to touch me right now. I smell like a foot.
Oh, was this hot yoga?
No, it was regular yoga. I just smelled from the day.
I had a similar instance. I was getting a massage.
You smell like shit?
Yes.
Why?
Because I had done boxing, and before boxing, I had done yoga.
You didn't shower at all?
No, I didn't have time. I was in a rush.
So what'd you do?
I just hoped and prayed that the poor guy didn't pass out.
Mom, that is ruthless.
Did I ever tell you? I think I did tell a story on the podcast about when I had not showered thoroughly before when I was in Vegas.
Oh, I was with you in this massage.
No, you were not with me.
Wait.
This was a time that
this was another time where the family went to get massages, And remember, you took off your clothes in front of the masseuse?
And she freaked out.
Said she almost didn't want to do that for you.
Yeah, she said that she could have been arrested because of that. Okay.
I was not present, Sneaky Freaks, for this experience. I heard about it after the fact.
But then another time, I rinsed. I didn't do a whole thorough body. It was in Vegas, by the way, where everybody's coming out of the pool to get a massage.
Yeah.
And this woman said, she started sneezing and she said, "Did you not shower well?" And I said, "What do you mean?" And she said, "I have a very allergic reaction to suntan lotion." And she freaked out at me.
This is a dangerous place for her to work.
I know.
Shouldn't she give you that explanation beforehand? Like,
exactly.
hey,
I've got this issue.
She should. That would
She
definitely something
shamed
in
me.
advance.
I was bathe shamed. Would you call it?
Bath shamed?
Bath
yeah.
shamed.
But you also weren't. You didn't. It didn't really come to mind when you were about to do this exact same thing to another guy.
I'm sorry. I was in a hurry. What was I supposed to do? I did not have time for showering.
Okay. Anyway,
it's a pits, ass, and crotch. That's it.
Anyway, so have you been aware of having booty smell during Doggy?
No.
No?
No, but I did ask my boyfriend Deez.
You want me to pull up his response to this question?
Yeah, I asked him specifically to tell me if he's been in the situation because, for the podcast, we have to get reliable sources.
And folks, if you're wondering, this is the Lube It Up question of the day presented by Uberlube.
Our favorite lube.
Uberlube is our favorite lube, made with high-grade silicone lubricant and a little vitamin E.
Perfect for vaginal, oral, and anal.
That vitamin E leaves a nice velvety finish.
And no smell.
It's the perfect lube. It lubes up our bodies, and it lubes up this conversation with this question, which is, have you ever noticed the scent of an ass during Doggy Style? This is what Dee said.
Honey, other than me, have you ever done Doggy Style on a girl in your past? Not me and you, but in the past, have you ever smelled the odor when you went Doggy Style? And what did you say and do?
I've never really smelt an odor, I believe, doing Doggy Style. But when I was in college, if I was hooking up with a girl, I would go down and finger her and then give it the sniff test to see, if it was good enough for me to go down there. And unfortunately, sometimes it was real rancid. So what I used to do, I don't want to be rude and be direct, I would, after going down there and smelling it, I would nonchalantly, while making out with them, rub my hand around their nose area so they would smell it and maybe figure it out on their own without me having to be so direct.
Oh. So you're playing the Good Samaritan.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Absolutely.
This is, of course, our dinner conversation.
The nose area?
What is he doing?
What is he? Yeah, that is such a D's thing to do.
It is.
Just he smells something on his fingers and he just puts it in the other person's face. The fuck?
He has a little bit of the OCD when it comes to cleanliness and all that kind of stuff. So I could see him doing this.
Why doesn't he just say, "Hey, you want to take a shower"?
Well, that's what I think should have been done.
That is what should have been done in all these cases.
Yeah, well, there's some responses.
It is
there
a
tough,
so
many.
I will say I've been with someone who didn't smell so good, and I was like, it is uncomfortable to say, "Hey, do you want to take a shower right now?"
But why is that uncomfortable?
Because there's the implication.
No, it's foreplay.
No, yeah, together. If we do it together, then it could be nice. Sometimes they're like, "Okay, go, shower."
You stink to
No. If you make it foreplay and do it together, it's a great solution.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, here is what Lucy said about this.
Doggy is my fave, and no one's ever told me there was a smell. But now I'm like, damn, what if they were just being nice? On my way to ask my BF if I have ass smell during Doggy at Lowell.
Okay, so that was one of the Redditors saying that it got her all insecure about having her own ass smell during Doggy Style. And she came back later on to give a part 2.
Part 2, Lucy.
Here's Lucy part 2.
OMG, guys. He said, oh yeah, all the time I thought you knew that. I said, ass or butt smell? He said, you don't know it, but I aim to do Doggy after you shower. Big booty probs. If you never asked, I wouldn't have said anything because unless there's a hygiene issue, the polite thing is to forget it. Also, now I've been told my hemorrhoids can be seen during Doggy, and I'm just gonna go bury myself in a grave. Thanks, y'all.
Okay.
She's going to bury herself in a grave.
She's mortified.
Wait, so first of all, what's the difference between ass and butt smell?
I mean, a lot of the Reddit chat was about that.
What is it? What were they saying?
I mean, I think they're talking the inside of the anus
Yeah.
versus just the whole butt in general.
Is the the ass is the anus in this situation? The butt is the cheeks?
I was imagining that. And by the way, then she brings up the whole hemorrhoid things. Oh my God.
It was fucking gnarly.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Also, now I've been told my hemorrhoids can be seen during Doggy, and I'm gonna go bury myself.
I'm not going to mention names, but there is someone that we know who would not go on a date with a girl because he had terrible hemorrhoids.
Well, it's a physical element. I can understand that, but to show the hemorrhoid during Doggy.
How do you not show it, Cam?
I've never experienced that before.
How do you not? If you're like bending over, your whole ass cheeks are separated. There tends to be obviously some material there.
Not material. What do you mean material? Shit?
Well, can you imagine if you bend some girl over and there was some shit there?
Oh, I don't like that.
That was just so disgusting.
That definitely is like, hey, you might want to take a shower without me this time. Clean your ass.
Clean your ass. Okay, someone else had a good suggestion.
What was that?
Let's see. Having wipes out there.
Oh, you want to hear from it's actually you, Roger. Roger is the one that you're looking for a solution from.
Right.
Keep wet wipes in your bathroom. Use after you wipe. She'll try them out too out of curiosity if you have them by the TP. It's a game changer. Some people just don't know how to clean their asshole, unfortunately.
This is another subtle gesture.
Just have the wipes out there.
Yeah. A
little curiosity. Well,
she's not going to just start using someone's wipes because it's out there.
100% she would.
Would you do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Really?
If I saw some wipes out there, I'm using it.
I was at a co-working space the other day. They have wipes in the bathroom. I don't just use
you're not doing
wipes.
What are you doing over there?
Yeah, I guess I'm not doing doggy style over there.
What are you doing, doggy style in your co-working space?
Yeah, but why? I wonder why she... I don't know. Would I just use wipes? I don't. Maybe I would. Yeah, maybe I would. Actually, that's a pretty good idea, Roger. Thank you for that.
And good. Cam, what is your favorite lube?
Uber lube to save the day. Folks, I've tried out so many lubes.
So have I.
I've gone to so many sex conferences where they're just basically putting lube all over my body so that I can see the most cutting edge lube.
And you know what you don't like? The ones that smell and they taste funky and they just don't.
I don't like the ones that
sticky,
that get into your bloodstream and get all fucked.
But we have Uber Lube to save the day.
Uber Lube is made with simple, body-friendly ingredients. We're talking high-grade silicone, vitamin E. It leaves a nice velvety finish on the skin that you don't feel like you immediately need to remove.
And it's great for oral, vaginal, and anal sex.
I love that it comes. They have a few different bottle types. But it comes with a measured pour, a pump that immediately just pump into your hand, so it's not spilling all over the place when you're in bed.
And doctors recommend it, I got to tell you, especially for women of a certain age that need a little more lubrication. Uber Lube is the call.
Sometimes people have sensitivities, and this one people have said works for them. I recommend Uber Lube with my own experience. We've gotten so many listeners that said this has been a wonderful product for them. So, folks, if you're looking for lube or a way to spice up your sex life, Uber Lube is the call. You can get 10% off and free shipping. Just go to uberlube.com, uberlube.com. Enter promo code SNEAKY.
It's SNEAKY.
You'll get 10% off and free shipping.
And then David says something interesting.
What did David say?
I think what's happening is that when women feel a lot of pleasure during Doggy, the muscles around the butt just naturally loosen. So smells are just leaking out as a result.
Basically, he's
saying
that the women are farting.
It makes me gag or something. I get disgusting. The smells leaking out of the ass as they get excited. I don't like that. It's too much for me. I'm not a fan of that.
Someone said lick to confirm where the smell is.
Yeah,
you get confirmation.
Yeah, but also that's a dangerous little game to be playing. Yeah, I like this one from Sam. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
I think ass doesn't actually smell like poop and sweat. It smells more distinct to me.
This is his own brand of scent.
It's What is it?
It's not poop. It's not sweat. It's ass. It's
Well,
the inside of your body coming
no
out.
one's mentioned like a hairy ass.
You think? Oh, this is a good question. Is a hairy ass
More likely.
or less smelly than a non-hairy ass?
If you have an answer to that, please text us.
310-356.
3920.
Yeah, that would
Please
be.
text us because, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
If you're not groomed down there, there's particles that stay in the.
You know who would agree with you? Paul. Get a load of this.
Oh, Polly boy.
I've washed the hell out of someone's ass, stepped out of the shower, dried them off, sniffed, and immediately smelled ass.
It sticks around, the smell. You know, it gets trapped in some hair. It gets trapped in your ass even when you don't. You got no hair. You know, ass is ass.
Oh my God. Okay, I just had this vision.
What?
Well, like if it's really hairy.
Yeah.
I can't even talk about it.
What? What vision?
Well, if it's really hairy, what if there is poo that's caught in there?
You're talking about dingleberries?
Dingleberries.
Yeah, there is probably poo that gets caught in there.
Oh my. Okay.
You're getting all squeamed out.
I'm getting squeamed.
Yeah.
Sex, like we talked about before, it's a dirty
It's a dirty
sport.
sport.
It's a dirty sport.
It's a dirty sport. Anyway, I want to thank Uberlube for that wonderful segment of Lube It Up.
And if they want to purchase Uberlube,
Yes.
all you got to do is go to
sneakypod.com, click Uberlube, and enter promo code SNEAKY for 10% off and free shipping.
Sneaky, spelled SNEAKY.
Thank you, Uberlube. It's now time for Mom's News.
Mom's news.
Mom's News. Mom's News is the segment of the show where my mother shares earth-shattering, groundbreaking, need-to-know info. Mother, what do we got this week?
This is right on the tails of our prior episode where we talked about Bonnie Blue, who...
Bonnie Blue was one of the OnlyFans stars aiming to sleep with 1,000 men in one night. She's the one who actually did 1,057 men in 12 hours.
And because I love you people so much, I did some research and I found from the Mirror a man who talked about his disturbing insight after he cues with 1,000 others to have sex with this adult star.
Way.
I found it. Allie Walker eventually changed his mind despite queuing for hours in the hope to bed Bonnie Blue, whose real name is Tia Billinger, as part of her world record attempt.
So what did this person say?
Allie, who is single, said, "It was the most surreal experience of my life, 100%. I was just amazed about what was going on. I had been told it was a one-to-one session, so I presumed you got in a room with her one at a time, but when I got there, it was a free-for-all."
Oh, so this guy is thinking, okay,
Yeah.
we're going to go into the room one at a time. That's kind of what I was picturing as well. It was a free-for-all?
It was a free-for-all. I mean, he thought he was going to have a little alone time with her, but no.
Everyone's just in the room watching? It's pretty intense.
I mean, the pressure. That's what I was saying before, is that the pressure to get a hard on in front of like all these people must be immense.
That changes the game on this.
Yeah, it does.
By the way, if you want to hear that episode, just go back to episode 486. I believe that's the one, unless we push it up. In any case, it's going to be within the last 3 episodes, and you can hear our whole explanation of what Bonnie Blue is all about.
But meanwhile, let's hear from what Allie has to say. There were 30 or 40 guys around her at any one time, all taking turns.
Oh my
She was
God.
surrounded by guys. There were so many guys there, and I'm quite shy. I've never been involved in anything like that, so I didn't get involved.
Oh my God.
I bet that it must happen to a lot of these guys.
So
They
you
think they're
think
getting
that's
a
actually-
one-on-one time with this gorgeous porn star, and it turns out most of the men wore bank robber-style balaclavas. What does that mean? To disguise their faces
Oh my God.
in a $15 million mansion owned by the convicted fraudster Fast Eddie Davenport. Grim photographs after the stunt show the floor of one room was littered with used condoms and paper towels.
Oh my God.
Well, I mean,
This image is so much worse. It should just be one. Why is everyone doing it at once? I guess that's what a gangbang is.
Allie said,
Thank you, Mom. That's enough for the mom's news, I think.
all right.
I mean, do you have more to share?
The clips of the legs of men lining up to the staircase as they queued to take part in the stunt was on TikTok.
I don't like that. Don't like it at all.
Anyway, yeah. You got the other point of view. I like to give you 2 points of view. We got her point of view, and now you got him. The poor guy, can you imagine he had to tell his friends how he ran out?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe he didn't share with anyone. It could be one of those things you do solo. When was the last time
shared it in the mirror.
Then you're right. It's not so solo. When was the last time you did something completely solo that no one else knew about?
That's a very good thing.
I love that.
Probably masturbated in some place that you're not supposed to masturbate.
That's some place you're not supposed to masturbate?
I don't need to get into specifics. You asked me a question.
No way. What? I thought you were just going for like I masturbated on my own somewhere and then no one knew about it. But now what is it? Some place.
It's a place.
I mean place.
And then none of your beeswax.
I don't want to know that.
All right. So what about you? That was a good question.
I was thinking last night. I was in the shower. I was like, no one in the world knows that I'm here right now taking a shower. That's very nice.
Were you masturbating in the shower?
No. Why do you gotta always make it sexual, Mother?
I don't always make it sexual.
You're always making it sexual.
Well, what are you bringing up a shower then? No one knows that you're in the shower.
No one ever knows.
There's a big mystery.
Because when I was working, someone knew that I was working. You're constantly calling me.
Me?
Yeah, you're constantly calling me. I can't move around my apartment without being on the phone with you.
That is bullshit.
Yeah.
And you know what? I get no credit for helping you out with this apartment. You got a new apartment.
The fuck you helped me out.
I walked through and I had to convince you that it was a good idea.
It was a good idea. I got a new apartment, folks. I'm excited about it.
He graduated from couch surfing to having his own place.
I wasn't couch surfing.
The little boy has turned into a man.
I was subletting different places. What are you talking about?
Subletting different places. You were living off the couches of most people.
No, I was not living off the. I've never lived. Was there any couches I stayed on? I don't think I stayed on one couch.
All right. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, I think it's time for the moment that 30 to 40 people want to get in this room for.
Oh yeah.
It's the time of the show, where wisdom is shared and people become a little bit more enlightened. It's Cam's Uppers.
Cam's Uppers is the place to be. Fun living is a life for me.
It's Cam's Uppers, the segment of the show where my mother typically finds
annoying
or
exhilarating
or
downright boring.
It's Cam's Uppers. All right, I found someone on Instagram that I love. It's a Harvard psychology professor. I want to play a clip that really resonated with me.
Well, what is this person's name?
Her name is Ellen J. Langer. Okay, ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
So many people are trying to add more years to their lives. And I think that what we should be doing is adding more life to our years.
Wow.
And that will end up, I think, in the long run, for most people, have us living longer. What people want to do, should be doing, is making the moment matter. And that whatever they're doing, they should enjoy doing it, rather than doing it for some end. Now, the problem is the world has taught us to divide work and play, for instance, and that work has to be bad. So for students, it can be play and study, or work and life. And again, I object strenuously.
Bring play into your work.
Exactly.
So this was Ellen on the Lewis Howes podcast. I was very touched by this.
I just got shivers.
Isn't it a wonderful mentality?
Yeah.
There's
especially my age group.
Especially your age group. I mean, in general, our like leading scientists and experts are only focused right now on longevity and like living 100 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why are they so focused? Who cares? Why do you want to live that long? What's more important is how do you live more in this moment? This is take advantage of the time that we have as opposed to just get more and more and more of it.
Well, I like what she said about work.
I love that too. I thought that was great. That is part of a lot of how we spend our time. It should be in a way that we find fun, that we enjoy.
Right. They say that if you have a job that you think of as play, you're going to do so much better at your job. And why not get paid for something that you love doing anyway?
Yes. So I thought this was a wonderful reminder to really invest in this moment, to really invest in every moment that we have and see am I in my body? Am I really treating this as like, what if this were the last thing? You know, right before we started this podcast, I was starting to think to myself, what if this were the last podcast we were recording today?
Oh my God.
It would be very sad, right?
Very sad.
We would treat it with a certain sentimentality, of a certain...
you might give me some more respect.
Or more respect, I would say. Yeah. Thank God it's not the last podcast. So, yeah. So
that was beautiful, Cam. I'm glad that you brought some wisdom into the last segment of our show.
Well, someone's got to bring the Buddha-like nature into this room. That's Cam's uppers, folks. And Moot, do you have any parting words?
I was just going to say, thank God we survived the fires.
Ah, yes, we did survive the fires. If you're interested in a little personal update, my mother and I evacuated.
Well, with my boyfriend D's.
We received an order because there was a flaming fire on the mountain in L.A.
About a mile from where we were staying.
Yes, and so I evacuated with my mother and D's.
Yes.
There were fires on the hill right next to my mother's apartment.
Right. You started to go into fight or flight response.
I was ready to evacuate 4 hours prior.
You almost leaped over. Yeah, you were. You were ready to evacuate 4 hours prior, but you waited for us. And meanwhile, the weird thing is, the more people I talk to when they evacuated, the weirdest things are that what they choose to bring. For example, I chose to bring, instead of another pair of pants, I brought one pair of pants for 3 days that I was wearing. I brought my college photo album.
Yeah.
Why did I do that?
I don't know. You want to hear something about what I brought?
I know what you brought.
So I took a bag of sentimentals that I kept at my mom's place because I'm a nomad and all my shit's everywhere.
As we discussed.
And when I got to our final destination, I was like, what is in this bag of sentimentals? And I pull out, all my dad's letters that he wrote to me at camp are in there. It's very sweet. And I look right next to that. It's a box. It's a prostate massager.
A prostate massager.
From Butter Wellness. One of our previous sponsors.
This is what you choose to bring with it when you're evacuating.
I guess I put it in my sentimental box.
It's sentimental.
Yeah, it was sentimental, I guess.
When were you going to be using this prostate massager?
I wasn't really intending for it to be part of my go bag, but I guess it made its way in there.
That is outrageous.
My real go bag, the one that I actually put together consciously, was a gnome costume.
Another brilliant thing.
A new costume with a wig that makes me look a little bit like Inigo Montoya from The Princess Bride. And condoms.
Again, what planet are you on?
I need to be protected if I'm going to escape.
Yeah, you're in your evacuation mode, and the thing you think about is you need condoms.
Yes. Yeah. What was in your go bag? You didn't have a freaking go bag.
I did not have a go bag.
I love that you and D's come into that apartment. You go, okay, don't panic. There's a fire on the hill next to us.
We saw a ball of fire about a mile away.
That is not a fun thing to see.
No, that was pretty scary.
Especially, the winds are intense.
Right.
Well, we got away. Thank God. We got a friend put us up. It was very sweet of them. Mm-hmm. And then we had a nice little getaway.
Then we had a little staycation with your friends came, and we ended up having fun. You know what? You always got to make fun out of a shitty situation.
Yes. Well, thank you for that final inspirational moment, Mother.
You're welcome.
We've made it to the end of the show, folks. We want to say we love you. Thank you for tuning in and sharing your love with us.
Please support us on Patreon. It helps us keep the lights on. That's Patreon/Sex Talk with My Mom.
Patreon.com/Sex Talk with My Mom. This is critical.
Patreon.com.
Yes.
Sex Talk with My Mom.
I want to thank you, podcaster, for making this show possible and giving us this recording space. And I want to thank all of you sneaky freaks for your constant text messages and sharing this podcast.
And caring about that we were surviving, which really felt good to know that you guys cared about where we were.
It was very sweet of you.
We do care.
We love you guys.
We love you. And let me tell you about the birds and the bees and the flowers and the trees and bringing a little prostate massager with ease.
With ease.
With ease.
It wasn't so easy, actually.
It wasn't so easy. That's the first thing that you bring.
Yeah. All right. Ciao.
Ciao.